Ladies and gentlemen, today is the eve of the New York mayoral election. It's probably one of the most important local races in a long time. Everyone knows how bad it'll be if the nation's financial capital is run by a foreign commie. And that includes the President of the United States, Donald Jaquavis Trump. He just issued an emergency message in an effort to destroy Zohran Mamdani's momentum. Alright, by the way, I'm going to address this once and only once. I've been getting a lot of comments from people saying I'm AI. They think I'm like that new Elon channel that's clearly AI, but people think it's real. Look, if I was AI, would I be able to do that? Oh my gosh, I just slapped myself. The things I do for you guys, I just slapped myself so you would know that I wasn't AI. Oh, that actually hurt. I forgot I'm Chocolate Superman and my punches can literally split atoms. Ugh. We'll take a look at the message from President Trump, but look at this article. According to Atlas Intel, the most accurate pollster in the 2024 election, Andrew Cuomo would beat Zohran Mamdani in a head-to-head race for mayor. In a head-to-head, it would be 49.7% to Cuomo and 44.1% to Mamdani. And in the three-way race, which includes Curtis Sliwa, Mamdani would have almost 44%, while Cuomo would have around 40%. That's within the margin of error. That means if Curtis Sliwa drops out, Andrew Cuomo would win the race. An important point to note is that this poll is only made up of 59% of Democrats in the 2,400 people that were polled. Republican voters make up 19%, and independents are at 22%. Early voting has Democrats accounting for way more of the vote. That's pretty worrying news if you're Zohran Mamdani. Ugh, Letitia James is back there. Of course she backs this doofus. And here's the president's message. If communist candidate Zohran Mamdani wins the election for mayor of New York City, it is highly unlikely that I will be contributing federal funds other than the very minimum as required to my beloved first home. Oh, we keep forgetting Trump is a New Yorker. Most of us don't really have a super stake in New York, but Trump certainly does. A lot of his business is still in New York. He can't just tow Trump Tower and bring it to Miami, Florida. It's in Manhattan. If you read The Art of the Deal, he loves New York City. In fact, if Trump was born in Kentucky, I don't think he would have the personality he does. New York made him and he made New York. So I imagine it's quite sad seeing his city just fall to communism. So he's saying, I'm not going to be sending federal funds to a city run by a communist. He's going to send the bare minimum and that's it. Because of the fact that as a communist, this once great city has zero chance of success or even survival. It can only get worse with a communist at the helm. And I don't want to send as president good money after bad. It's my obligation to run the nation. And it's my strong conviction that New York City will be a complete and total economic and social disaster should Mamdani win. His principles have been tested for over 1,000 years and never once have they been successful. I would much rather see a Democrat who has had a record of success win than a communist with no experience and a record of complete and total failure. He was nothing as an assemblyman, ranked at the bottom of the class, and as mayor of potentially again the greatest city in the world, he has no chance to bring it back to its former glory. We must also remember this: a vote for Curtis Sliwa, who looks much better without the beret, is a vote for Mamdani. Whether you personally like Andrew Cuomo or not, you really have no choice. You must vote for him, and I hope he does a fantastic job. He is capable of it. Mamdani is not. I have a lot to say about that. I like that he didn't attack Curtis Sliwa in a serious manner. Curtis Sliwa is the Republican nominee, and Andrew Cuomo is a Democrat running as an independent because he couldn't win his own primary against a communist. By the way, this segment on 60 Minutes was so funny when Trump was asked about Mamdani. Comparisons, are they drinking from the same cup as Kamala Harris or something? Trump and Mamdani couldn't be more different. By the way, Truth Social people are so funny. In the replies, I saw this meme which just made so much sense. Keep New York City trash free. And it's Hoko and Mamdani. Oh, that's gold. Some people on the right might have a problem with the president's statement. Maybe when I was younger, I would look at something like this and be confused. Like, why is the Republican president even saying nice things about a Democrat when there's a Republican in the race? The truth is, politics works like that sometimes. Trump is able to understand that a Republican is not going to win in New York City anytime soon, and that if you have a choice between a radical lunatic and just a normal lunatic, You should just pick the normal lunatic. My friend Neil Johnson said it very perfectly. Andrew Cuomo just wants to suck money out of the businesses in New York. Meanwhile, Zohran Mamdani wants to kick them out of New York entirely. Which one of those sounds like a bigger problem? But I'll be very honest. The people saying Curtis Sliwa should drop out and let Andrew Cuomo win, I don't agree with you at all. Curtis Sliwa is the Republican nominee. If people vote for Curtis Sliwa, it's because they want to vote for him. He has convinced them to vote for him by campaigning, by proposing good policies, by contributing so much to the city throughout the tenure of his life. He would have earned every vote he got. On the other hand, people voting for Mamdani are voting against the Democrat establishment. One, a lot of them have been indoctrinated to be Marxist by people like AOC and Bernie Sanders. Two, and many of them agree with Mamdani despite how wrong he is about everything. To put it succinctly, people are voting for Curtis Sliwa and people are voting for Zohran Mamdani. Anyone voting for Andrew Cuomo is not voting for Andrew Cuomo. They're voting against Zohran Mamdani. If anything, Andrew Cuomo should have dropped out long ago and endorsed Curtis Sliwa. Because if his voters were always going to vote against Zohran Mamdani specifically, then they could have voted for Curtis Sliwa. I'm not nihilistic about these things. Just because I don't live in the city doesn't mean I can't feel what the people are feeling. But a lot of them are going to vote for Mamdani. Don't they deserve him a little bit? Don't they deserve to feel the consequences of his actions? If he's a horrible mayor, then the people should suffer the consequences of having voted a horrible mayor in. Andrew Cuomo is to blame. He forced himself in the Democrat primary when he could have allowed some organic Democrats to arise and combat Zohran, but he didn't do that, and here we are. There's nothing wrong with the president's statement. New York City is his home city. It's where he was born. His parents were born, I think, and where his grandparents landed when they came over from Europe, I believe. I don't know how many generations it is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about all of this. We're about 24 hours from the polls closing tomorrow. Could something like this completely change the race? It could change the race. It could work like how Trump conditioned Argentina's bailout on them voting for Milei's party in the midterms there. And the voters responded positively by voting overwhelmingly in favor of Javier Milei's party. Maybe the same is true in New York by conditioning further federal funds to New York on who they make mayor. And there's really no right guy for me except Curtis Sliwa. I think he's better than all of them. Well, I don't think. I know he's better than all of them. You all see it. Like, I'm never going to pretend like Andrew Cuomo didn't do what he did to the grandmas. Hey, maybe in 4 years everything is completely different. Maybe at that point, Mamdani would have wrecked the city and the voters would have had to learn their lesson. We'll see what happens in New York. Thank you very much for Goodbye.